10 minutes until showtime.
Holy double plays.
9 minutes until showtime.
Can I actually have... Oh, that's great, yes. Cool.
Eight minutes until showtime.
Alright. Alright, there we
Seven
go.
minutes until showtime.
Thank you, Miss Lippy.
Tactical nuke!
Wait, what just... What just broke?
Six minutes until showtime.
What just... Okay. That's some big fucking news.
5 minutes until showtime.
Hmm. That's interesting. Huh. I'm surprised. I don't think he had any at bats this year.
4 minutes until showtime.
Yo,
Yeah.
we're gonna open up with some breaking fucking news.
What?
Uh, I mean, we'll talk about it more, but Joey Votto's retired.
I knew that. I
Uh,
was talking to Christian about it.
they
I
just,
knew that was coming anyway.
I mean, they just reported it too, though.
3 minutes until showtime.
I mean, we all saw it coming, but still, like,
He was in the Toronto Blue Jays minor leagues. He wasn't coming anywhere. He wasn't coming back up.
I wonder if he figures that as an embarrassment and just doesn't, and just, I mean, because technically he was with another team.
Well, technically, he never did play for them at the major league level.
True.
So I mean, I don't even count the Blue Jays as a team he played for, because technically he didn't play for them. Technically,
Yeah.
he was only in the minors. It's like, do a lot of players consider their time when the Patriots were independent ball as they were in professional baseball? No.
I mean, it depends on who you're asking,
2
because,
minutes until showtime.
I mean, you think about it, if you're talking about, like, Ricky Henderson, no.
Tim Raines played there.
Jose Canseco.
Tom Glavine's brother played down there.
Oh, I got the
I mean,
I got the Braves game on too.
yeah. They're playing who, the Filthies?
Phillies, yeah. I mean, the good news is right now, everything is looking peachy keen for the fucking Mets.
Well, I watched that game, boy. Winker, man. Oh,
That's what I
he
mean.
even said an oopsie at the end of in the post game, but nobody caught it.
Like,
He says, "I love this shit on live air."
so, I mean, we'll talk about it more when we start diving in when the show starts. But
1 minute until
Minnesota's
showtime.
up 10-0 on the Padres. Miami's up 6-3 on the Diamondbacks. And Braves Phillies are 0-0 right now.
Oh, that'll move the Mets up at least.
That's what I mean. I'm like,
They'll move them
falling,
up a full game, actually.
that's great on every.
And that'll be even good for if the Padres are getting beat up that bad. We're facing them tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So.
And then go to Arizona for 3.
Even though San Diego just picked up a blockbuster trade, they just picked up Luis Guillorme from his third team this year. The Braves cut him, and then the Angels cut him. That was with the Diamondbacks.
Well, I mean, what's his name is on the
Your
IL
show will
too.
go live in 5 seconds.
Well, we'll go
4,
live. We'll talk
Yeah.
more during
3,
the show.
Yep.
2, 1.
Tactical nuke incoming! I am a man!
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Betting Window on the Nerdport Network. I am your host, Evan Ronnie, with me as always.
The Zombie Master.
Oh, Ryan will probably not be joining us because he's closing. Christian will be on later. And, well, let's just open up with this. Actually, that's about right, but it's more sounding like, yeah, breaking news. So, breaking news about an hour ago, Joey Votto, first baseman formerly of the Cincinnati Reds, has called it a career after 17 years in the big leagues.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we all saw this coming when Cincinnati wasn't going to re-sign him. He signed a minor league deal with Toronto. Never played a single game for Toronto, so in my eyes, he retired a Red. Just saying.
No, well, that happened. You knew that was coming sooner than later.
What?
Atlanta's up 2-0.
Yeah.
Knew that was coming sooner or later because they had the bases loaded last inning.
Well, you know what? You say that about the Braves, but the Braves are going to be without one of their big guns for the rest of the season, more likely. Austin Riley broke his hand,
4 to 6 weeks. And
which pretty much means the rest of the season.
And he might be back for the playoffs.
If the Braves even make the playoffs.
Well, that's another issue completely on its own.
Not saying that's official. I mean, but the way this the NL wildcard shit is
Shaping up.
shaping up. I mean, it's like basically this is let's see, the Mets, the Padres, the Giants,
You know what?
the
Let
Braves,
me pull up.
the Diamondbacks, and even if you want to count who else? Who's after the Giants? I think the Reds.
Let me pull up the wild card standing.
Well, regardless, you're looking at a 6 or 7 team race
So
for that final
I'll go
spot.
all the way down to anybody that's under 10 games behind, because you're looking at it, and that's fair, right? Under 10 games.
There's 35 games left in the season.
All right. So then, where do you want?
Let's really be optimistic on some of these teams. I mean, go ahead, start listing them off, and I'll say whether they got a realistic chance of making anything or that's just a pipe dream.
Well, I'll say this: the 3 that are definitely no. Washington's 11.5 out.
Yeah, they're done.
Colorado's 20.5.
They're done.
And Miami is 21.5.
They're done.
Yeah, that's why I say after that everyone's above 10 games. Pittsburgh's 8.5.
They've been getting their asses handed to them lately. I'd count them out. They're done.
Cincinnati's 6.5.
Another team that's doesn't have enough firepower, and they can't put all their weight on Ella De La Cruz. I think they're done.
All right. St. Louis 6.
St. Louis just released Brandon Crawford, and they've been kind of falling apart. And I guess Ryan would even say, I don't think they got much. So I officially think the Cardinals are done too.
All right. Next would be the Cubs, 5.5.
Now we're talking about teams on the cusp. The Cubs could go either way with this, but I'm leaning towards I don't think they have a chance, but anything is possible. Next,
The Giants are 4.
Giants. Now we're talking about teams that legit have, I think, are now this is going to be the race. So okay, the Giants are 1 next.
The Mets are 2 games out.
The Mets are 2,
Atlanta's the 3rd wild card spot.
3,
Arizona is the 2nd.
4,
San Diego's
and
San Diego's
5.
the 1st.
So right now, I think this is a 5, maybe 6 if you include the Cubs.
Let me see
A
something.
5 to 6 team race for 3 wild card spots. So that's 6 teams, 3 wild card spots.
So San Diego is 3 out of the division. Arizona is 4 out of the division, and I'm stopping it there because San Francisco's 11.
Yeah, so
the Central is pretty much taken. Milwaukee's 11 and a half. Behind Chicago's behind Milwaukee by 11 and a half.
Yeah, that's not happening.
And then Braves are 6 behind Philly, and the Mets are 8.
You know what? I don't think the AL East
It's done.
or the NL
East
is, because this is going to come down to the last week. Especially if the Mets, I'm hoping, but I won't get my hopes up because y'all all know how my feelings are about getting hopes up with this team. If the Mets could beat San Diego and Arizona, the Braves and Phillies could take a nosedive. The Mets could very easily have a shot at winning the division, although highly unlikely.
Yeah.
But as the future has foretold, anything can happen. Not saying it's gonna, but one thing I will say: the baseball when it comes to the Mets will not be boring in September. Although the last couple of years have been boring.
I have been very happy with what I predicted at the beginning of the year, saying I would be happy with them to be in a fight for a wild card spot, and that's exactly what we're getting.
And you know what? I'll be the first one to admit it. Beginning of the year, I didn't predict the Mets were going to win 60 games because I thought this team was so full of holes. And in the beginning, they went on that, but let me say, I'm big enough a man to eat crow when I say if I'm wrong, I always admit I'm wrong. But when it came to this team, when this team started falling 8, 9, 10, 11 games under 500, and they were in second to last place behind the fucking Marlins, in front of the Marlins, who were only a game behind them, I thought, we're going to be basement dwellers again. Then they had the players-only meeting. Then they met a giant purple piece of shit named the Grimace.
Yeah, Grimace!
And if I hear one more person saying, maybe she had something, if one more person mentions that Haktua girl, I'm going to smack him in the face with a brick.
You mean ... Raleigh Finger's illegitimate granddaughter? Giving the good old
But you know what it is? Well, yeah, it's more
exactly.
I don't want to. If anything, it's a jizz ball. There it is, right there.
Yeah.
But no. But when it comes to the Mets, I would have predicted. I said, you know what, this team is going to fall apart, and I was right for a while. But then all of a sudden, somebody woke up, and what I find ironic about this team is that the fact that this team has done all of this without the guy that was in the line for Cy Young last year.
They're also doing it without the guy that is looking at that wants $30 million a year.
Who's that?
Fucking Alonso. I mean, let's face it, Alonso's not having a good year.
Alonso's having a shit year.
And they're doing it with him having this bad of a year.
But I'm going to tell you what, and I can name 3, maybe 4 players on this team that have been consistent, and I've beaten some of these guys up. Lindor, Started out like shit.
Who needs to do better going forward on starting off the year, the first 2 months better.
Another guy that's an unsung hero this year, Brandon Nimmo. Brandon Nimmo came out of nowhere. I mean, we all knew Brandon was good. I always thought Brandon was a great singles and doubles hitter and had speed and had a lot of heart and was great defensively. He had it popped to the bat this year. And it showed. And he played by... I thought he screwed his shoulder up. I said, oh, boy, we're done. Turns out he's all right. He just had a little bit of a dead arm because of that catch he made earlier in the game kind of screwed his shoulder up a little bit. But he's back now. But the one guy that I did not expect a goddamn thing out of this year has surprised me more than anything. And I think... I hate to say it, but it takes one of my favorites out of the running for a job next year. That's Mark Vientos. That kid.
Well,
whew,
yes and no.
that kid's scary strong.
So I know
but
you
no,
like.
but here,
Well, I know you like Beatty.
I'm a big fan of Brett Beatty. I like Brett Beatty a lot. I like his swing, and I like his approach to the game.
Now, I'll tell you this: he might not be out of the running because there's talks about if Alonso stays, he might go to DH and Vientos might go to first.
You know what? And then and speaking of DHs, that brings me to another guy that there's now the guys that are kind of unsung that have kind of come on lately. The Jeff McNeils and the JD Martinez. I'm bringing Martinez back next year if I can.
Yeah.
I'm bringing him back for another year.
Was he a 1 year or was he a one with a player option?
He was he was a 1 year deal with
Okay.
deferred money. So he signed a 1 year, $12 million deal, which deferred some of the money. So he's only making $8 million. So, but the other guy is Jeff McNeil, because before the All-Star break, you, and I know you are not going to deny admitting this, you thought McNeil was out of here.
The writing was on the wall.
But then all of a sudden the All-Star break happened. Jeff McNeil came back, and all of a sudden he became Jeff McHits again.
Well, because I guarantee you, they also told him that he was probably going to get shit canned.
But then you know what? Jeff is starting to play like Jeff can.
Yeah.
He's still swinging at some bad stuff, but he's come a long way. And the one thing this team needs to do next year is hopefully Kodai Senga will be healthy, because now, since he didn't make his pitch commitment, he could have been a free agent after this year. He could have opted out. No, next year he could have opted out. But since he didn't have his innings limit, he's locked in for us for the 5-year contract that he signed. So Senga ain't going anywhere for 3 more years. Senga's going to be a Met for 3 more years.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that, because if he's healthy, he's a dominating pitcher. I say you bring Sevy back, because Sevy's been nothing but lights out. I bring Manaea back. You dub Quintana, because Quintana's horse shit.
Yeah, he has been...
He's been abysmal the last 4 starts. He's been shit. Then you got Christian Scott. And then you got the kid that they just brought up to AAA. And that's, what's his name? His name escapes me. Spratt. Brandon Spratt. There's your 4th and 5th right there. So you got Senga, Sevy, Manaea, Scott, Spratt. There's your starting 5 right there.
And then, I mean, who knows
And
what...
at 6, you can put Trevor McGill as a 6 or a swing guy. Because Ottavino, I want him out of here too.
You and me both. I never wanted him back.
Ottavino, I'm sick of him. He's a pain in the ass. I'm sick of him. I want him out of here. But the bullpen, I don't put Jose Buto back in the starting rotation. That's our long guy out of the pen. That guy's been lights the fuck out this year. Daniel Nunez, when he comes back healthy, if he has the season he did this year, there's another great guy in the bullpen. You're going to have to revamp this bullpen a lot in the offseason. And I don't care. I know you're gonna give me shit on this because I spoke to Christian and I hope he comes on soon because he'll attest to me saying this. As much as you and about every other Met fan are salivating over the chance of Juan Soto coming here, I don't want him here, and I'll explain why. He hits a lot of home runs, granted, but the guy is a locker room cancer in my eyes, and I'm backing up my words with he wasn't well liked in Washington. A lot of his teammates weren't fond of his attitude. In San Diego, he rubbed a lot of people, including Manny Machado, the wrong fucking way. That's the only reason. But Juan Soto thinks he's God's gift to baseball. And I'm sorry, that job's already taken by Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is the God's gift to baseball. That motherfucker's a monster. He hit 46 tonight. I watched the replay of it. I'm surprised that ball hasn't landed yet.
Yeah, no.
I don't want Soto here. Let Soto go out to L.A. Let him stay in New York. I don't want him here. I don't want him here. That's just my opinion. If you differ, please give me your differing opinion. But in my eyes, I don't want him here.
He's a player, so the price has to be right. I don't see anybody. The problem is he's gonna want.
He's gonna want
Six-
Shohei money.
No, he's gonna want more than that. He's gonna want $600 million. And thank you for bringing up Shohei. We'll get to him in a little bit because I got a problem with well, I guess you could say I got a problem with Vegas because the MVP shit for that is retarded.
All right, let's. Okay, you're getting off track. Coming back to Soto for a minute. Come on back.
Yeah, no. So Soto, the locker room shit in Washington is bullshit because he never wanted to be there in the first place. $400 million, he turns it down. That just clear indication that he did not want to be in Washington, even though he has a World Series ring.
Right.
Because he didn't see anything there. Manny Machado is the laziest motherfucker. Like, you want to talk about locker room cancer? How about Manny Machado in Baltimore?
I'm not denying you're not wrong. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Manny Machado's is he a powerful hitter? Yeah. Is he a good defensive? No.
No.
He's a mediocre defenseman
Yeah.
at best.
Now, if he's with the Mets, great. If he's with the Yankees, great. I think he's staying around New York City. Because I do not think that he's going to...
LA.
He's not going to go to Dodgers. With the amount of shit that's in LA right now, they can't afford him.
Is that Christian?
Maybe,
Is he on yet?
Yeah, he's on. I'll bring him in.
Oh, good, because that's the perfect conversation piece for this.
Maybe San Francisco would be the only other team that could pay him that kind of money. Maybe the Giants. Other than that, that's it. It's between the Yankees, Mets, and the Giants. I do not see the Dodgers spending any more money because right now they're completely and utterly fucked. Because remember, they're still on the books for 10 years for a pitcher who hasn't set foot on the mound for half the fucking season.
Who's that?
Yamamoto.
Yeah. And hello, Christian.
Yes.
Hey, what's going on?
Talking about Judge and that terrible 3-run double he just hit.
Yeah, I didn't even see it.
And got he got a double.
Oh, that's
Well,
hilarious.
I'm glad you're here, Christian, because we're talking about Juan Soto. And do you remember a conversation you and I had about a month ago? And I told you that I would never want Juan Soto as a Met. And you were surprised when I said that?
I mean, I can't remember what I did 15 minutes ago, but I think so. I think.
But what I had said was he is a locker room cancer, and I'll explain to you why I said to Ronnie, and I'll get your take on it. The fact that he didn't want to be in Washington, was a troublemaker there, and bitch to went to San Diego and fought with another big baby crybaby in Manny Machado. Those two didn't get along. He didn't want to stay in San Diego. And I said the only reason Juan Soto hasn't lost his shit in New York because Aaron Judge would put him in his place real fucking fast.
Yeah. And plus, the Yankees have never really had a guy like that in the locker room, or like poison in the locker room. You can't really name a time. Maybe you could apply that poison term to Alex Rodriguez because just of a lot of the distractions that followed him.
Really, the poison, if you're ever going to say the Yankees had poison in the locker room, would not even be player, it would be coach, and that's like Billy Martin.
And you know what? It's funny you mentioned Billy Martin because there was a player, neither one of you guys may remember him. There was a pitcher by the name of Eddie Whitson. Do you remember Eddie Whitson?
I've heard the name.
Therein lies a locker room cancer. That man didn't get along with the office, and he hated Billy Martin. They almost got it. Billy Martin and Ed Whitson almost got into a fight in the dugout.
But you know what?
There is a locker room cancer right there.
The problem is the cancer always got pulled out because of George for the Yankees, and I'll gladly admit that George traded everybody out. It's either you play my way or you don't play for me. It was very simple. George made it very clear. As much as you can hate George all you want for doing what he did, George made it very clear, and he did that with Billy Martin. How many times? You're hired. Fuck you. You're fired. Get the fuck out of here at his press conference. Like, it's.
I remember a game back in the late 80s, early 80s.
When he called down into the bullpen?
No. This was a game that I don't know. Christian, you might have heard this because it's been on a lot of Yankeeographies, and they've talked about it a lot. It was a game in Boston. Apparently, Reggie didn't run something out quick enough, or he didn't go after a fly ball quick enough for Billy Martin. Next thing you know, Paul Blair's running out to right field, telling him, Skip wants you out of the game. Billy Martin pulled him because he didn't make a catch quick enough. Wow. And he was kind of lackadaisical of that. He pulled Reggie Jackson out in the middle of a game. Jackson came into the dugout. The two of them had to be restrained. Look it up on YouTube. It's hysterical. Martin was getting in Jackson's face. Billy Martin, I don't know if anybody remembers. I don't know if anybody listening remembers Billy Martin. Billy Martin was about 5'7", 5'8", about 125-pound guy. Reggie Jackson was a 6-foot-something, 260-pound muscle guy, and Billy Martin stood up to him like he was standing up to a midget. That's how Billy Martin was.
Crazy.
But it's the truth. Like I wasn't really watching baseball when Billy Martin was around. That's a little bit before my time. But I mean, I've seen videos of Billy Martin at press conferences. Like that's just history.
Billy Martin was as much as a cancer as he was on the field. He was a world championship manager.
And there's John showing his age.
Fuck you in the neck.
John, one old joke is coming per show.
That's my purse. I don't know you.
Yeah, but it all set aside. But no, you know what it is? It's like Martin was. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame manager.
Yes.
I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame, but the man, before he died, he was slated to come back to manage the Yankees before he died.